Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by Liberty Times, the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee has passed the fiscal year 2027 National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, in an 18-9 vote. The massive defense bill, totaling $1.15 trillion, includes key provisions to strengthen Taiwan's defense capabilities. Specifically, the bill authorizes the Pentagon to establish a war reserve stockpile program for Taiwan and provide security assistance to the island. Furthermore, the legislation renames the Taiwan Security Cooperation Initiative, extending the program to 2032 and expanding eligibility to the Philippines. This change highlights Washington's shift in Indo-Pacific strategy toward a broader regional approach along the entire First Island chain. Additionally, the NDAA mandates an investigation into delayed weapon deliveries to Taiwan and other regional allies like Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines, analyzing how these delays affect defense capabilities. The bill also labels China as part of an axis of aggressors posing threats to U.S. global interests. The House Armed Services Committee passed its own version of the NDAA last week, and both chambers must reconcile their bills before sending it to the president. According to a report by Lianhe Zhaobao, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has appointed Dan Jarvis as the country's new defense secretary. The announcement made by the Prime Minister's office on Thursday night, June 11, comes in the wake of the sudden resignation of John Healey, a close ally of Starmer. Healey stepped down after publicly releasing a resignation letter on social media platform X, in which he accused both the Prime Minister and the Treasury of failing to invest sufficient funding and resources into national defense. Following Healey's departure, Deputy Defense Secretary Alistair Cairns and two ministerial assistants also announced their resignations, signaling a significant rift within the defense ministry. Commentators, including Lawrence Lawson, director of the center-left think tank Compass, noted that Starmer's failure to retain the trust of key allies like Healey indicates deep, systemic issues, suggesting that the Labour government needs a thorough reset starting from the leadership level. According to Al Jazeera, the Democratic Republic of the Congo's DRC national football team has finally arrived in the United States for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, following a 3-week isolation period in Europe. The quarantine was mandated by U.S. authorities due to a recent Ebola outbreak in the DRC. Otherwise, the squad faced being denied entry into the tournament. The team spent their 21-day quarantine period training in Belgium and canceled their domestic warm-up plans. Their preparations were further disrupted when a scheduled friendly match against Chile in Spain was canceled over fears of the virus spreading. Despite these challenges, head coach Sebastien de Sabro expressed pride in the team's adaptability, stating he hopes their performance will bring joy to their compatriots back home facing the outbreak. Based in Houston during the tournament, the DRC, competing in their first World Cup since 1974, when they played as Zaire, will face Portugal in their opening Group K match on June 17th, before traveling to Mexico to play Colombia and finally Atlanta to face Uzbekistan. According to LP, researchers at the Korea Institute of Energy Research have successfully developed a domestic technology to produce high-purity deuterated ammonia, ND3, a key gas essential in semiconductor manufacturing. Deuterated ammonia, where hydrogen atoms are replaced with the stable isotope deuterium, is critical for reducing defects and enhancing performance inside semiconductor devices. South Korea has previously lacked the local technology and production facilities for ND3, leaving the country heavily dependent on imports from nations like Japan and China. A research team led by Yoon-Hong Chul overcame this bottleneck by developing a novel ruthenium catalyst. This catalyst reduces the operational pressure required for synthesis to 1/5 of conventional processes, enabling the synthesis of deuterated ammonia with a purity exceeding 99%. The stability of the process was verified through over 1,000 hours of continuous operation, receiving certification from the Korea Testing Laboratory. The institute noted that this breakthrough will help South Korea establish a domestic production base, decrease foreign dependence, and enter the global specialty gas market. The team plans to further optimize the system for other high-value isotope materials. Arnez reports that Tonga's coalition government is under increasing pressure following the conviction of a third cabinet minister for electoral bribery during last year's general election. The Tongan Supreme Court found Lands Minister Dr. Taniela Fuzimalohi guilty of breaching electoral laws after he donated a Starlink satellite terminal to his constituency during his campaign. Under Tongan law, bribery convictions typically lead to an MP being unseated, which could trigger by-elections. This conviction follows similar rulings against other cabinet members. Tourism Minister Sumisi Sika was previously convicted of failing to declare a payment to a dance academy, which prosecutors argued was an attempt to influence voters. Additionally, Finance Minister Lotta Tangimana resigned after being convicted of providing fish to constituents, though he is currently appealing. In contrast, Deputy Prime Minister Dr. William Latsu was cleared due to insufficient evidence. Political analysts note that these successful election petitions highlight the urgent need for greater public awareness regarding what constitutes electoral bribery under Tonga's strict laws. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.